What?
I know we're late. I know we're late. There was a reason why. Yeah. So, welcome to our first ever actual sports episode. Shocking. Not a lot of people know this, but I'm a giant sports fan. Yato here is a basketball fan, so I figured I'd bring him along. So, what we're going to be discussing today is the play-in tournament. Should we explain to the people what the play-in tournament is in the NBA?
Yeah, of course. I mean, not everybody exactly follows along with what's going on. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So normally there's 1 to 8 are the seeds, right? But the past couple of years they've done a play-in tournament. This year specifically, the rules are the 7 and 8 seed are facing off, and then there's the 9 and 10 seeds. The winner of the 7 and 8 seed is automatically guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. The winner of the loser of the 7 and 8 seed plays the winner of the 9 and 10 seed, and then they play for the last playoff spot. So this is starting tonight, actually. The first game I actually want to cover and see what we can get out of is actually the Charlotte Hornets and the Indiana Pacers. So let's
And
start.
boy,
Yeah,
and boy, we were just sitting here. That's part of the reason why we're late, folks. We're sitting here getting a grasp on the two teams going back and forth this year. And
was not pretty for the Pacers. But let's go by some weaknesses for both teams. Clearly, I mean, the Pacers obviously, with Miles Turner being out, the guy was a potential defensive player of the year candidate, so that's a ginormous loss. Their leading scorer, Malcolm Brogdon, may not play. The Hornets, I don't know if LaMelo is 100% again because he was hurt for a while there. But whenever you look at the starting lineups, right? Hornets, it's LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier. The three, I like to call him the dunk god, Miles Bridges, because he just fucking posterizes everybody. Jalen McDaniels, who is Jaden McDaniels, a up and coming recruit's older brother, is at the 4. Then at the 5, they have PJ Washington. Some key pieces for them off the bench are Devonta Graham and Malik Monk. And with the Pacers, you got Karis LeVert, Justin Holiday. Usually Karis plays the 2, but like I said, Brogdon's hurt. At the 3, they have O'Shea Brissett or Brissett. I don't fucking know how you pronounce that, but shit, it's weird. At the 4, they have Doug McDermott. Well, any of you that watched college basketball like 10 years ago will recognize that name. At the 4, they have their only chance of realistically doing something in the paint, and that's Domantas Sabonis. A couple of their key players are TJ Leaf and Justin Holiday's brother, Aaron Holiday. So, Yato, we just watched their two of their games they played against each other, and my God, was it something to watch.
all right, let me start off with the Pacers here. Like, when you talk about weaknesses, like Miles Turner definitely has to be
It's a
a
blow.
wounded knee for them because the way that they run the floor is fucking terrible. When anytime that especially when you run a fast break, going down your way, you it's very fucking important because everybody's out of order that you get back. If anyone misses, someone has to hang back just in case. Like, hey, I might have to dip all back down to the other side. They run the floor terribly. Their defense is fucking terrible. Everybody just moves out the goddamn way. It's okay to get posterized. It's gonna happen. You're in the goddamn NBA, but stop moving the fuck out the way. Take a foul or something. There's other people that can take your spot. The other thing that I didn't like about what the Pacers were doing either is that they their IQ isn't exactly the best. When you're down like over 10 points and you have 2 or 3 people on you on the inside,
Pass the ball.
that means you pass it out. You have
Kick
somebody
it out.
sitting there on the 3-point line, wide the fuck open. That 3 points is going to add up a lot faster than that too. I understand the 2 is going to be easier.
Well, not always. Like you said, if you're being doubled or triple teamed, I mean, it's very hard to get in there. But okay, I actually have an X factor for this game specifically. Of course, LaMelo Ball would have been the rookie of the year, but got hurt, so that's probably going to go to Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's actually Malik Monk, and here's why. It's a contract year for him. He is balled out. Granted, he doesn't play a lot. I think he plays like 15 minutes a game. But in that 15 minutes, I believe he's averaging like 7 points, shooting 45% from the field and about 38 from three. If they can get Malik Monk going from behind the arc, uh, they've got a more, excuse me, they've got a good chance. Not
But
going to say a good
it's
chance.
about spacing though. Like, and
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
about spacing, and you have to have some high IQ big men. And you have to be able to recognize how many people are around you and who's open. You always have to look around on the floor. Spacing is very important.
Yeah, and on the other hand, actually, for some reason I don't know why the highlights didn't show this, but the Pacers do have one of the best the long ball big men in the NBA, Doug McDermott. But the guy, he's a natural small forward, but he had to step into the power forward spot due to Miles Turner being out, who's there a normal center, and then Domantas Sabonis sliding down to the five. But it's like you said, this game's going to come down to spacing, who can score first, and honestly, it's probably going to come down to if the Pacers can reliably hit a three ball because they have struggled with that all year.
See, one of the things that they have an advantage over the Hornets on is height.
Oh yeah,
When it comes to the inside game, they're fucking the Hornets up
but
terribly.
it's not the '90s anymore. That's the issue.
Like no one's gonna bump and dip shoulders and all that shit. Like I said, a lot of times people aren't trying to get posterized, but their big man game is on point. And it's like I was saying earlier, before we started, you always want to start from the inside and go out because once you start, you when you play an inside game, the shots are a lot easier. It's easier
Yeah.
to hit a 15-foot jumper than it is a 30.
Mhm.
Um, and when you start making lanes for yourself, when they see that you're taking advantage of the person that's guarding you, somebody's gonna come over and help. And if they don't
Oh,
get back quick enough, that opens things up. The defense starts to collapse.
yeah, yeah. Basketball, just like any other sport, is a game of chess, not checkers. But Yato, what's your prediction for this game? Who do you have winning and going to the second to play the second game?
I have to say it'd have to be the Hornets. It'd have to be that their 3-point game is on point. They don't have too many big men. It doesn't seem like
No, they don't.
but they're not getting fucked up that bad on the inside. But I mean,
I mean,
from what I've seen from their last two games, they often take the lead in like the beginning, which leads me to believe. And the other team, the Pacers keep coming back, which leads me to believe that they might have a weak bench,
yeah, they
and
do.
that might come and kick them in the ass. But if they
Yeah,
can level that shit out, I think the Hornets will pull it off.
yeah, but all right. I'm going to tentatively say the Hornets, and here's why: they've lost five straight games. In their past 10 games, they're 3-7, while the Pacers are at an even 500. Momentum is can be a big thing in the NBA. Like hell, it can be a big thing in life. But I believe that Lamelo Ball will play a good enough game. I'm not going to say he's going to play a perfect game, but he'll play a decent game. Terry Rozier, I believe, will have a all right game. Malik Monk, like I said, hits a couple threes. It's all good. Devonta Graham is another one. Devonta Graham came out of nowhere last year, went from second round draft pick to the most improved player last year. Now he's a sixth man. And like you said, the big man, but PJ Washington, that's an interesting name because not only can he stretch the floor, but he can guard in the post. He's a solid defender. I'm not going to say he's a good or great defender, but he is a very, very solid defender. And Sabonis isn't somebody that's going to put up like 25 or 30 on you all day, like maybe 25 rebounds, but he's not going to put up that amount of points. The only way I can see the Pacers winning this is if Karis LeVert balls out, Sabonis decides, all right, I have to step my game up a notch, or if Malcolm Brogdon comes back, which is possible. But I don't see a lot of those things happening. That's why I have the Hornets winning it. in a closer
Pa-
game. A close
the
game.
Pacers need a lot more ball movement, and they need to get their asses down on the fucking floor when they're running a fast break. You can't just be dawdling around,
Oh yeah, no,
jogging back. You have to sprint. Get your ass back there and get in their fucking way. Stop just letting them run to the goddamn hoop. The
yeah.
whole point is to stop the other person from getting that ball into the hoop.
You want to know what that looked like whenever we were watching that highlights? It looked like that one kid used to play 2K with, and he would always have his my career player just walk down the court, shoot a fucking three, like while they're on the fast break, and then turn around and walk back.
Hmm?
But yeah, so I've got the Hornets in a close one. I'm going to say that they win this probably about anywhere from 7 to 9 points.
I mean, from the first game that I seen, like their recent game, because I think the first one we watched was more recent, and then the other one was from a couple months ago, and you can see a big ass like you said they're
Miles
missing
Turner's.
right, and he was obviously a big factor because in the January game, uh, they won by like I think the Hornets only won by a couple points, but in the recent game in April, they whopped them by like 14.
Yeah, well, fucking hell, like I don't know. Maybe they'll pick their game. Maybe they'll pick their game up because they know that this is their only chance of getting into the playoffs. But I still have the Hornets winning that, even though they haven't quite been on a good roll recently. Oh, wait, the next game we have is we're going to go over the Grizzlies and the Spurs. If you are a fan of the NBA, you've probably heard the name Ja Morant, for example. Yato, I know you have.
Nope.
So, no? Oh, okay. So, understood. Yato is a fake fan. Got it.
I
Anyway,
haven't been paying attention to none of the folks.
anyways, with Ja Morant on the Grizzlies, you got Ja at the 1, Dylan Brooks starting at the 2, Kyle Anderson at the 3. That's weird, but hey, do you, I guess. 4, you got Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. And 5, let me see if I can say this name right, Jonas Valanciunas. And off the bench, they have who I think actually is probably starting at the 4. I mean the 3, but I get it. He's too big to be a small forward. Brandon Clark, he was a surprise rookie last year. Came in, I think he was drafted around the 20s range. Came in, had a fantastic rookie year. Then the Spurs, of course, led by one of the greatest NBA, if not the greatest NBA head coach of all time, Greg Popovich. They're
Big Pop.
nothing. Yep, they're nothing like they were 10 years ago. But they've got DeJounte Murray at the 1, at the 2. They got Lonnie Walker at the 4th, who is basically a poor man's Pat Bev. Just so if you guys don't know, the 3 they got Keldon.
A young team, don't they?
Yeah. Oh yes, very young team. At the 3, they've got Keldon Johnson, sort of the typical modern day 3 and D wing. He may be able to get you. He'll get you anywhere from 10 to 13 points, and he can play decent defense on the wings, on the perimeter. At 4, which is shocking because this guy started his career off as a shooting guard, you have DeMar DeRozan, who's getting up there in age. DeMar cannot shoot a 3 to save his life. But he's known as the mid-range king for a reason, right?
For real.
And then at the 5, you have Jakob Poeltl, which, God, I haven't heard that name since he was with Toronto. So on paper, this seems like it's going to be a Grizzlies blowout. But like I said, Pop's won 5 championships. You can't count the guy out, especially not whenever, with all the experience. If it comes down to a coaching situation, I'm taking Greg Popovich over anybody. I don't think it will, though.
All day. I mean, unless it was like Jackson, but I mean, he retired, so.
It was close. But with Ja, Ja's averaging 19, 8, and I believe he had 4 rebounds. Rising superstar. You had Dylan Brooks, who also kicked in, I think, about 14 or 15 points a game. Kyle Anderson just shoots a 3 every now and then. Triple J was hurt again for a large part of the season, but he can still give you anywhere from 15 to 17. You got Jonas Valanciunas, had a career year this year, 18 points, 12 boards, 3 dimes, and I think he even had a block and a half a game. But Brandon Clark's another one. He can get you double digits off the bench. This one's pretty cut and dry. I'm not even going to try to pretend like I'm going to be biased or no. The Grizzlies are winning this game.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
the Spurs went through a rebuild too, didn't they? Because they lost a
They're still in
bunch
it.
of their veteran players.
They're still in it. They're
Hmm.
still in the middle of their rebuild, and the Grizzlies are a team on the rise. That's why I'm picking the Grizzlies. And I expect Ja to ball out in this game. I expect Ja to probably get 30 points, somewhere around anywhere from 10 to 12 assists, and probably kick in 5 rebounds.
Now, do the Grizzlies have any veterans on their team?
The fine veterans, people like Kyle Anderson's 27,
But
Brandon
I mean,
Clark.
people have been around for like over 5 years. Like they've been around for like about 10.
Let me think here. Trying to remember right off the top of my head. I don't think so. But also, if I remember correctly, the Grizzlies swept the Spurs in the season series.
They swept them last year.
Well, I mean, I just think that the Grizzlies just have more talent right now than the Spurs, and I think that talent gap is too much for Pop's coaching abilities to be able to overpower. But I could be wrong. Who are you picking?
Because I'm currently still looking at highlights and things right now. From what I see, the Grizzlies, the coaching might actually be a pretty big factor. Like they're kind of like lazy when it comes to running their plays. Everything's not at tight. It seems like they're better at improvising rather than running plays.
Yeah, they're just
And the
giving
Spurs
the ball.
are, and you know how Greg Popovich is. It's about the
Yeah,
plays. It's about options. You run it every time, or else he'll take your ass out.
yeah, no, he did that to Tim Duncan a couple times back in the day, pissed him off. But I don't know.
I'm actually
Okay,
gonna take the Spurs on this one. I think if you have a solid team, like you don't always necessarily need people who are extremely talented. I think Greg Popovich has proven that before, coaching Tim Duncan. I mean, fucking
the,
Mr. fucking fundamental. Like
the big fundamental. I swear to God, I thought you were going to say Mario Hezonja, and I was about to start laughing.
no.
Anyway, so on the next game, on the second game of the East, Mothra had some things to do. I'm assuming it's all good. We have the Washington Wizards versus the Boston Celtics. Just a few notes before we go in here. The Celtics, their team has basically been hit by a nuke. Kemba's not going to be playing. Jaylen Brown's not going to be playing. I don't think Robert Williams, who usually is the decent center for them, is not going to be playing. They have been atrocious the past 15 games with a 33% winning rate at a 5-10 record in the last 15. But hey, they still have Taco Fall, right? However, I think that this is why they went and got Evan Fournier from the Magic at the trade deadline. Just in case something like this happened to Jaylen Brown. Which Evan Fournier is cool, but he really can't do much besides, get you a three and maybe a mid range every now and then. Point guard for the Celtics in this game, I believe. Hey, Miss Barger, I believe that it's going to be Peyton Pritchard is going to be their starting PG. Then, like I said, Evan Fournier at the three, small forward, Semi Ojale, yeah. And at the four, I'm going to let Yato go ahead and take a guess who plays power forward for the Celtics.
I don't fucking know.
Really? Okay, it's Jason Tatum. Okay, God, man, you smoke. How much have you smoked today? You that high?
What do you think? I started as soon as I got home. You're tripping.
Thanks for proving my point. Okay, and at the five, they have not Taco Fall. I wish it was Taco Fall. They're having Luke Cornett play. Some of their bench pieces are like with Taco Fall. It's not really a bench piece. I just like seeing him play. Romeo Langford, what's his fucking name? Aaron Naismith, the rookie from Vandy, who was a hell of a sharpshooter. They're coached, of course, by Brad Stevens, who did wonders at was it Butler he coached at? I can't remember. But so that's the Celtics. The Celtics' big problem here is injuries. They can legitimately miss this playoff run if Jason Tatum does not fucking go off. As for the Wizards, they've actually been the exact opposite. Last 15 games, they've been 10-5. Their starting lineup as of right now, at point guard, you have Russell Westbrook. Shooting guard, the league's second leading scorer, Bradley Beal. At the three, Davis Bertans, nice 3-D player, shoots about 40% from the three. At 4, you have Rui Hachimura, their draft pick from last year, who has been all right for himself. Like, I'm not going to say he's been fantastic. At the 5, you have Alex Len. Now, many of you that remember, I think it was the 2014 draft, that guy was the 5th overall pick. Has not turned out that well. Hold on, wait. What did Miss Parker say about you, Yato? Hold on. Yeah, no, but so with this whole thing breaking out, right?
The 3, I scream out Olay.
Only problem is you miss every damn shot. Okay. So so this is basically just going to break down to Jason Tatum having a fucking ball out game. Because other than that, and the Wizards are coached by Scott Brooks, who used to coach the Thunder back whenever they had 3 future MVPs on their roster. Other than that,
You said Kemba's out, so
yeah,
I mean it's pretty much on Jason Tatum because that's a guarantee. Like I said, it's a guaranteed 20-30 right there because he definitely will go off. He definitely runs the ball. Like his basketball IQ is fucking great. Like he'll attack the inside and kick it out.
Here's why I'll disagree with you. Evan Fournier can give you 17 to 20, but you're still losing at 10, and the other people the other players on the Celtics are going to have to make that up. I don't know if they can. But like I said, also, I mean, the Wizards have just been hot. Wizards 10-5, Celtics 5-10. But here's one of the big driving points, right? And it's not going to be Bradley Beal going off and scoring because he's going to do that regardless. The Celtics center game has been an issue for a long time, right? What's the one thing Russell Westbrook loves to do?
Have it inside.
Exactly. If Russ is able to torch Boston inside, it's over. That's why I'm saying I'd rather them just start Taco Fall and see Russ try to dunk over a 7'4" man. But hey, I don't always get what I want. But
I mean that is true because one of the ways that like most people have defeated any team that Russell Westbrook has been on is making him shoot.
Yep, have a dominant presence on the inside. Because Russ is not known as a perimeter shooter. Like I think he shot 32% from 3 this year, which is below the league average. The league average is like 35. But I don't know. Maybe because Jason Tatum's gone off for insane games. He's gone off for 40, 50. It's going to take, I'm not going to say a miracle, but it's going to take a combination of great coaching and great players and a great game for the Celtics to even be able to compete right now.
Basically, they're going to need a fucking miracle. Like I'm not going to count them out, but I mean, it would be a hell of a fucking game if they won.
If I had to bet, going 85-15 on the Wizards. That's not the score. That's like the betting line right now. So, yeah, I'm picking the Wizards in this one. And I'm going to say that they win by... I'll be generous to the Celtics and say that the Wizards win by 10.
I'll give them some credit. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they'll only knock off by about 4 or 5 points.
So who are you picking? You're picking the Wizards also? Yato. You're picking the Wizards also, right?
Yeah, the Wizards.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, Mothra. I know that you're a Celtics fan, but your team got nuked. Sorry, buddy. Uh,
Sorry about your luck. Try again next time.
you may be saying those words here because now we're going to cover the game that everybody wants to see. Um, the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Golden State Warriors. Let me just run through this lineup right quick, and I'll let Yato rant about his Lakers for a little bit. At the Lakers, of course, you have at the point you have Dennis Schroeder. At the 2, you have KCP. 3, LeBron. At the 4, you have Anthony Davis. And at the 5, I didn't know whether to put Montrezl Harrell or Andre Drummond. I put Drummond just because he's more of that traditional center. But I don't know. Yeah, and so with the Warriors, Steph. At the 2, they have Kent Bazemore. God, I haven't heard that name since he was with the Hawks. At 3, they have Andrew Wiggins. Draymond's at the 4, and at 5, they have Kevon Looney. All right, Yato, go ahead and rant about your Lakers.
Look, I see. You think that I'm about to rant about the Lakers, but actually, I think that they've been doing fucking terrible.
Yeah,
ever since they lost McGee and Howard, they lost like all their size, and
well,
that
I mean,
was a big advantage that they had.
well, I mean, they still have Marc Gasol, and they got Andre Drummond, who's a 7-footer.
Yeah, but remember what I was saying? Big men who run the floor are valuable. That was things that why Andrew Bynum was such a good center. Even though he wasn't the best shooter, no, he was tough on the inside, and he would run the fucking floor. He could run.
Tell that to Sixers fans.
And when it comes to the Warriors, one of the problems that they've been having ever since they've lost a couple
Andrew
people off their squad is they don't have no fucking centers. They don't have no good big men. They don't have nobody to back up the good big man that they have. It's like I said, the Lakers had about 4. Like even you can even count LeBron because LeBron can drop down on the block and play like a power forward.
And okay, there is one thing that you're right about, and that's that the Warriors have not had a great, not even a great center, a good center since Andrew Bogut, and that was their first title. But Steph's been playing out of his mind. He led the league in scoring. He has a legitimate chance for MVP, and plus, I don't think LeBron's 100% from that injury. I really don't. I don't think AD's 100% from that injury. Andre Drummond has been dropping 17 a game. That's nice. You've got Montrezl Harrell off the bench. Which one of the Morris twins plays for the Lakers? I know that one of them plays for the Clippers. Is it Markieff or Marcus?
I don't know.
But anyways, one of the Morris twins plays for the Lakers. And for the Warriors, you have Jordan Poole, second-year player out of, I believe, Washington State. Don't fact-check me on that. Who's basically just like Steph, but a little bit taller. But we knew going in that the Warriors were not going to be the Warriors because of Clay. Like what happened with Clay whenever he was at that YMCA and tore his was it his ACL or no, that was the other year. That was last year. This year he tore his Achilles.
Oh, his Achilles tendon.
Yes, going in, nobody expected the Warriors to be a top seed, but I think that people expected them to make it into the playoffs.
All I know is at the end of the day, Steph Curry's gonna try to pop the threes and shit. Like he might open some things up. That's usually what he does. Is people are afraid of him stepping 3 feet back and just shooting the ball because he can make that all day. So of course that's gonna open up the inside. But it's like I said, if you have people like Anthony Davis and shit or LeBron who's like right around the corner who can step into the block, then you're pretty much fucked out of here. They're not afraid to get fouls and all that other shit. They're gonna swat your shit.
And I would agree with you, but even LeBron said that he's not 100%. Now, with that being said, I'm not picking the Warriors. Don't get it wrong. I'm not picking at least not in this game. At least I'm going to pick the Lakers by the slightest of margins, just the very slightest. And the reason for that, they just have a better roster. I mean, like currently they have a better roster. I mean, the Warriors' second best player is Andrew Wiggins. The fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Oh, and Miss Parker is right. I do actually cosplay as a wizard on the weekends in front of the Staples Center. My name is Magic the Wizard, and I have two little gnomes with me, and they're my aides.
I thought you were going to say Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but I don't know, but like I said, whenever Andrew Wiggins is your second best player, you've got an issue. I'm picking
I like Wiggins though.
Yes, but he did not live up to his potential. Remember, he was the first overall pick.
Well, I mean, when Wiggins was starting out, I forgot what team he used to be on, but he wasn't on the best of teams. But he still balled his ass off though. I'll give him that. Like there's some people who always end up on a shitty team or shitty teams.
He was on the Timberwolves, but here's the thing: he wasn't consistent. But and I'm not saying he's a terrible player, not at all. But he was called Maple Jordan coming out of high school. If that's not some big expectations, I don't know what is, right? But
That's people. They always do that. Like they've been doing that for forever. Like they did that with OJ Mayo. I remember a long time ago. Everybody thought he was going to be the big shit coming out of USC.
And now he's banned from the NBA for 4 years for gambling.
When he was playing, he scored like under 15 points a game.
Yeah.
Then he started coming off the bench.
Same thing with Shabazz Muhammad coming out of UCLA not too long. Well, funnily enough, he's also banned from the league for another 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Don't gamble on sports games. That's the fucking answer to that one.
Right now, only gamble on MMA fights.
And even then, make sure you know who you know is going to win. That's how I won $100 off that Francis Ngannou Stipe fight. Anyway,
would have lost that. I didn't know that he had been working on his footwork like that.
I tried. I was just trying to tell you, but you and Sam were talking about him. All right.
Anyway, yeah, you were right.
Anyway, so I've got the Lakers winning this one. Yato, who you got?
Yeah, me too. Of course.
Oh, yes, of course. So that means that the Lakers are going to slide into the 7th seed in the West, and they'll play the Suns. Chris Paul plays LeBron James. Shocking. And hold on. Yeah, and on the East, that would put the Wizards at the 7 playing Brooklyn. That's not good. Anyways, so in the East for the second for the final of the East play-in, you'd have the Hornets and you would have the Celtics. That's actually interesting.
I think it sounds like another ass whooping.
Really, you think so? Just because of how nuked Celtics are?
They squeeze through and then have to play the Hornets. They're going to get ran over.
Remember, though, the Hornets' momentum's not been on their side. I don't know.
You can always catch momentum, though. That's the thing. Like, yeah, you could have a 5-game losing streak, but that one after that could be the one.
Which the Hornets
and you can keep going on from there.
But if the Hornets play the Celtics, okay, LaMelo Ball is going to ball out like he's been doing all year. Like, let's not even bullshit ourselves. The guy should be the Rookie of the Year. He won't be because he got hurt for a big part of the season. That's why Zion wasn't the Rookie of the Year last year. That's why I went to Ja. But so once again, let's go over these matchups. It'd be LaMelo Ball take on Peyton Pritchard, Evan Fournier versus Scary Terry Rozier. So then you have the dunk god Miles Bridges taking on Semi Ojeleye. Power forward, you have Jalen McDaniels taking on Jason Tatum. There's one that I know the Celtics would always win. Then at the center, you have Luke Cornett and PJ Washington. I just think that the Hornets have a better bench, honestly. Like, you have Devonta Graham and Malik Monk, who can both get you double digits. You have Cody Zeller, who's a stretch 5 that can go out and shoot the 3.
The bench is very fucking important. It's always important because people forget. Like you get into foul trouble, and sometimes you just get fucking tired, and, and you're gonna need the backup. And when you have your best players out, it really it's really important who you put in, not only for them but who you put in with that person. Because if you whoever is like backing up for a player like LeBron or whatever isn't always going to be as good as LeBron or anywhere near, but you might be able to keep him in with a good center that he can hook up, or like, you know, he can run the floor very fucking well and get open shots. Like,
so this is what this game basically boils down to. Basically boils down to all of the Celtics bench minus Jason Tatum. Evan Fournier is usually their 6th man versus the Hornets, who are pretty much fully healthy. I'm taking the Hornets all day long. So I have the Hornets going in as the 8th seed to go face Philly. And then probably getting swept by Joel and Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't think they're beating the Sixers.
Yeah, no, they're not. But then again, for fuck's sakes, I mean, I would almost want to lose this game because the Wizards have to go play the Nets. So, So here we are in the West at that game. Okay, you have the Warriors. Yato, you picked the Spurs. I picked the Grizzlies. So I guess we'll have to go over both of these. Okay, so we'll start with the Warriors versus the Grizzlies. I'm taking the Warriors. I'm sorry. I am.
Please.
The winner of this game is taking on the number 1 seeded Utah Jazz. And that just feels weird to say.
I'm not sure about that one.
I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, the Grizzlies, they are kind of sloppy. Yeah, I'll probably take the Warriors.
Yeah, and they got Steve Kerr. So the next one is the Spurs and the Warriors.
Spurs and the Warriors?
Yep, I'm taking the Warriors just because Steve Kerr, while he's not on Pop's level, he's still an elite NBA coach.
Yep, go
ahead.
I was going to say I'm also taking the Warriors because, like I was saying, I think having veterans on the squad is very important. You have people with experience
who have won championships.
Exactly. You know, they don't feel that pressure as much as, you know, some of the rookies might.
Even if they are Donkey from Shrek. Hey, Draymond, how you doing? Come on, like he does look like Donkey, doesn't he? Like no bullshit aside, like I can see it. But
they did take that picture of him smiling and shit.
Yeah, exactly. That fucking memes. Yeah, so as the way it would have it, the Warriors would be facing the Jazz with Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and who? Oh, no. Donovan just stepped his game up. I feel like I'm missing a person. And you would have then the Lakers taking on the Suns with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, who, of course, one of LeBron James' good friends, and DeAndre Ayton, and Mikal Bridges at 3-and-D. That should be able to get double digits. But, and in the East, okay, so at the East, sorry, I have this shit written down on a piece of paper. So, like we said, the Hornets are going to get fucking swept by Philly. Like, let's not even pretend to bullshit ourselves here.
Not even funny.
The Wizards may be able to steal a game from Brooklyn, but they're not going to win the series.
Like, from Brooklyn? Yeah, I give them 2, maybe.
Yeah, because the one thing Brooklyn doesn't have, a lot of people have pointed this out. Where's their center? They have a past his prime DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wizards aren't doing very well in the center game themselves, but if they put Thomas Bryant over Alex Len, they've got an advantage. But so yeah, that's going to be that. I mean,
well, I think the Nets have a great long ball. So
you don't say. You don't fucking say. It's not like they have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, and Joe Harris, who is one of the league's premier sharpshooters.
You have many options to get a 3-point game, and don't get me wrong. Like I said, the inside game is important too. But
Even Blake Griffin, for fuck's sakes, can shoot threes now.
Like it's not like they're gonna get completely shut down in the box. So
well, I mean, like even Blake Griffin, who 10 years ago you never would have seen take a three, can shoot them at like a 37% clip. So
got to sometimes.
yeah, no. Actually, funny story about Blake Griffin. He did not dunk during the entirety of his time with the Pistons. Do you want to know when he decided to finally dunk again? His first game with the Nets.
Poor dude. He hasn't exactly been the same
He
ever
did it to
since he
be a
got
dick.
hurt.
He did it to be a prick because he wanted out of Detroit, so he didn't dunk until he got traded. The first game he gets traded, he fucking does a windmill dunk in Brooklyn, and all the Piston fans are pissed off on Twitter. It was great.
Probably didn't want to go.
I mean,
it wouldn't be the first time that somebody's done that. Look what happened with what's that nigga's name?
what team? Just tell me the team. I might know it.
I think he's on the Sixers now.
Oh wait, are you talking about Jimmy Butler or
Tobias? Yes.
Butler plays for the Heat now.
Oh, he plays for.
Yes, they were in the NBA Finals last year.
I didn't fucking watch that shit.
Of course you don't. And your team won it.
Yeah, well, I don't necessarily like the Lakers with LeBron on it.
Why not?
I've never been a LeBron fan ever. He flops and shit like it, especially after I seen him flop. Like I was like, that's some bitch shit. I hate anybody who does bitch shit like that.
So are you saying you'd rather them take that championship banner down?
And he also hopped on a team with two other he pulled together a team of superstars, and he keeps doing it.
Yeah,
Stop being a bitch. Just because you couldn't win a ring on your own, like now you have to hop on all these other teams so you can try to grab a ring. I hate ring chasers.
LeBron technically did carry that Cavalier. I mean, you had Kyrie there and Kevin Love kicked in, but LeBron basically did have to carry them down, come back from 3-1. So the whole thing that LeBron couldn't do it on his own earlier in his career, yes, I would agree with you. But Miami Heat LeBron, if he had his own team, and like you got to remember that most of his career, he's had shitty teammates whenever he wasn't surrounded by superstars. Like, look at the Heat back in the day. Their bench was god-awful.
Dude, Kobe stuck around on the Lakers when all his teammates were trash, and that's when he was known as a ball hog because he even told them, I'm not passing you the ball. You guys fucking suck. And you know what he did? He hit 81 fucking points because he was like, I ain't passing to you sorry-ass niggas. And he took his team all the way to the playoffs.
Yeah, well, Jalen Rose still clowns on himself about that. But the best thing about that, right, is I love how, like, I believe it was in an interview, Kobe said, who the hell am I going to pass the ball to? Smush Parker? Kwame Brown?
Yeah. Oh, I fucking hated Kwame Brown.
I think Jordan ruined his confidence when he drafted him when he was the GM of the Wizards.
Oh, when he told him that he wasn't shit.
Yeah, no. Jordan said a lot of other things that I don't think would fly nowadays. But yeah, that ruined a young 18-year-old Kwame Brown's. The Lakers had Adam Morrison on it. That's another ring chaser. One of the biggest busts in NBA draft history. Apparently, nobody liked him on the team because apparently he did not bathe.
Yeah, I heard about that. He was a foreign dude, and
he wasn't foreign. He was from the States. He went to Gonzaga, which is in Spokane, Washington. You're thinking of Darko, who was
Adam Morrison, or his parents are foreign. I remember right here because he had a bit of an accent.
Adam Morrison was American. Are you thinking of Darko, the guy that was drafted before Carmelo and right after LeBron, who was also a huge failure?
Okay, you said Gonzaga?
Gonzaga, yeah.
He was on the cover of NCAA, huh?
Yeah.
That's not him.
No, it's not. Like, Adam Morrison
No, it's not.
grew up in the Midwest. If he had an accent, I would think I think he'd be faking it. Well, that foreign accent, anyways. So yeah, no, this is our predictions for the play-ins. We're gonna get with Mothra, and we're gonna do like a full playoff bracket whenever the playoff comes. And anybody that wants to come join into our brackets with us. Until then, I want to thank everybody for coming out. And if we're right, then you all have to praise us. If we're wrong, this episode never happened. All right, thanks, guys.
And I actually make sure that I'll fucking watch. Why does it still say live? Nigga, you just popped out and just left me here.
Why do I always do that? Why do I always do that? Okay. That's like the third time I've done that. Okay. Properly. Here we go. We're going to end it properly.